Hi, friends. Welcome to North Pole TV. My name is Mike Dorn. I'm your host, and today we're going to be talking about Section 296 of the Canadian Criminal Code as it relates to M-103, the motion brought by parliamentary MP Iqra Khalid to quell, meaning to stop, the free speech of Canadians who disagree with Islam. Okay, this is not good. We need to, everybody needs to be aware of this and fight it. So what we're going to do is look at the law 296. Then we're going to look at Iqra Khalid's motion to make a law, which they don't say law, but that's what they're aiming for. Okay, and then I'm going to read you it's just a rant I wrote that seemed to get a lot of positive response on Facebook, so I thought maybe I'd attach to this video. So yeah, okay, first we're going to go to use Firefox. Go to Firefox, and I'm going to type in Government Canada. I need my glasses now. Okay, Government of Canada. There we go. So just put search there. Well, as you can see, I'm on Linux. I don't know if you know that anything about Linux, but I like Linux. It's so great. You know, it's just so trouble-free compared to, I mean, from viruses and bugs and things like that. It's trouble-free, and it takes a little getting used to, I guess, but really it's not a big deal. This is a Ubuntu version. It has graphical user interface, as you can see, and yeah, I like it a lot. The only problem I ever have with it is sometimes it browns out. If I get too many windows open, it'll slow things down and kind of freeze it, but you don't lose data. It just eventually it'll come back. Okay, so let's get on with this here. By the way, it's a warm day here. I've turned off the air conditioner just for noise levels, and you might see me sweating, but it's a warm day, so I'm going to try to do this as quickly as I can. Get on with it. So here we are, Government of Canada. That's their official page, as you can see. Now we're going to look for the search button up here. M-103. Oh, excuse me. Let's go to Criminal Code first. Okay, let's move that a bit. Criminal Code of Canada. Okay. So, we'll scroll down here a bit. 296, blasphemous libel. Can everybody see that? 296, offenses against person and reputation. Under that section, what is that? Section 8. Offenses against the person and reputation. It's got blasphemous libel. They've already got a law about hate propaganda and things like that. Okay, so we'll click on blasphemous libel. And we'll see that it says, offense. Everyone who publishes a blasphemous libel is guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years. Question of fact. It is a question of fact whether or not any matter that is published is a blasphemous libel. So in other words, a judge has to decide whether or not it really is blasphemous libel. You just can't say that person blasphemously libeled me. No person shall be convicted of an offense under this section for expressing in good faith and in decent language, or attempting to establish by argument used in good faith and conveyed in decent language, an opinion on a religious subject. So in other words, you're allowed to criticize religions. Okay, under Canadian law, it's still an existing law. You're allowed to criticize religions, even in print. Okay, that's what they mean by publishing. You cannot be convicted for just having a debate, an argument here, it says, used in good faith and conveyed in good language, decent language. Okay, so this law is on the books already. If someone gets carried away and doesn't use good language, or they're not doing it in good faith, they're doing it for they're arguing for some other reason, then well, I won't get into that, lawyers, but there is a law in the books that handles the same things that M-103 is concerned about. Why the lawyers, why the parliamentarians themselves don't know this or didn't even bring it up, I don't know. That's not my business because I'm not in Parliament, but I'm going to raise the issue here to YouTube, to my viewers, and hopefully somebody will question the government about this. What are they doing? As you can see, they got other things like defamatory libel. And we have to go to the next page for the other one. So anyway, that's blasphemous libel. It's on the books. It's real. Now let's go back a page, and we'll go to search function again. We'll type in M-103. Okay. M-103. Now what that does is brings this page up. We click on M-103 again. Then we get a picture of Iqra Khalid, our parliamentary member for Erin Mills. Show all the details of the motion. So there's the text of the motion. Okay. There it is. Now what I'm going to do is put me down over here. Okay, and I'm going to get my magnifier tool to make it a little easier for both of us to see what's going on. Why does it do that? Excuse me, folks. It's a new... I just loaded this on my computer, so I'm not real familiar with it yet. Okay. Okay, text of the motion. That in the opinion of the House, the government should, A, recognize the need to quell, you hear that? Quell, that's a violent word, look it up. It does have a second definition that is, you know, more like just stop people, but it has two definitions, and one of them is very violent. So maybe Iqra should not have used that word. You know, if you had any brains, you wouldn't use a word like that. In the opinion of the House, the government should, A, recognize the need to quell the increasing climate of hate and fear. Okay, first you need to prove that there's hate and fear increasing. B, to condemn Islamophobia, and which is a made-up word. It's not. I mean, why even putting this word in a motion before Parliament? It's a made-up word. There's no definition for it. It's not a medical term. It's a made-up slander. It's a smear of anybody who disagrees with Islam. Anyway, so to condemn Islamophobia and all the so-called Islamophobia and all forms of systematic racism and religious discrimination, and take note of House of Commons petition E41. I'll show you that in a minute. E41 or E411 and the issues raised by it. And C, request that the Standing Committee on Canadian Heritage undertake a study on how the government could develop a whole-of-government approach to reducing or eliminating systematic racism. Ooh, I don't like that eliminating sounding word. And religious discrimination, including Islamophobia, in Canada. So discrimination means that you decide that one is different than the other. Okay, so this is like saying that we're not allowed to discriminate. We're not allowed to decide one is better than the other. No, yes, we are. And at least now, if Sharia law takes over Canada, we won't be able to. Right now, we can. In Canada, while ensuring a community-centered focus with a holistic approach through evidence-based policymaking. Well, evidence is fine. 2, to collect data to contextualize hate crime reports and to conduct needs assessment for impacted communities, and that the committee, it looks like tax dollars going to nothing, and that the committee should present its findings and recommendations to the House no later than 240 calendar days from the adoption of this motion, provided that in its report the committee should make recommendations to the government that the government may use to better reflect the enshrined rights and freedoms of the Constitution Act. Better reflect the enshrined rights and freedoms in the Constitution Acts, including the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Okay, freedom was mentioned twice in there, and here you are talking about bringing in a motion to quell the free speech of people. And in the same breath, you're saying recommendations the government may use to better reflect the enshrined rights and freedoms. You're talking about taking the rights and freedoms away, not better reflect anybody's rights and freedoms. So that's Iqra Khalid, born in Pakistan, not a born Canadian person, and also apparently not very aware of how democracies work. Or she's working on an agenda, her own agenda, an Islamic agenda, I would guess. Anyway, let's leave her and go to another page. We're going to go to E41, E411, petition E411. So let's find that. Go back a page. Go E411. E411. Bump. Okay, so here it is here. Petition E411. E411, Islam. Initiated by Samir Majoub, or whatever his name is, from somewhere in Quebec on June 8th, 2016. So it's quite some time, over a year ago. Islam is a religion. Petition to the House of Commons. Whereas Islam is the religion of over 1.5 billion people worldwide, since its founding more than 1,400 years ago, Muslims have contributed and continued to contribute to the positive development of human civilization. Yes, somewhat. No one's going to argue with that. This encompasses all areas of human endeavors, including the arts, culture, science, medicine, literature, and much more. Yes, okay, we don't think Muslims never did anything. Recently, an infinitesimally small number of extremist individuals have conducted, it means terrorists, Islamic terrorists, extremists, have conducted terrorist activities while claiming to speak for the religion of Islam. Their actions have been used as a pretext for a notable rise of anti-Muslim sentiments in Canada. Okay, first you'd have to prove that there's a rise of anti-Muslim sentiments in Canada. Although I don't doubt with all the terrorist attacks, people blowing up innocent people, that people are getting a little pissed off at Muslims for not condemning this outwardly and screaming bloody murder about it. That's the way to stop it, is you people who are Muslims have to say, well, no, we don't like it. Not bring petitions to the House of Commons. You do it in public yourself. Don't expect your government to do it. These violent individuals do not reflect in any way the values of the teaching of the religion of Islam. In fact, they misrepresent the religion. We categorically reject all their activities. They in no way represent the religion, the beliefs, and the desire of Muslims to coexist in peace with all peoples of the world. Well, you would have to define which Muslims you're talking about, because yes, some Muslims do want to live in peace with their neighbors. Some don't. They want to clobber their neighbors and take over. Okay, so we, the undersigned citizens and residents of Canada, call upon the House of Commons to join us in recognizing that extremist individuals do not represent the religion of Islam and in condemning all forms of Islamophobia. Well, what about someone who's Islamophobic because they got a terrorist trying to attack them? Huh? Are they allowed to be Islamophobic? You think that'd be okay, Iqra? That they might harbor some prejudices against a religion that wants to do them in, wants to do away with free speech and democracy. Anyway, so that's petition E11, which was presented to the House of Commons on December 5th, 2016. Okay, so it was December. This guy brought it. Where was he? Samir guy brought it on June 8th. It was presented to the House of Commons on December 5th. And then Iqra Khalid's motion, I'm not sure, that was March of 2016. So this thing came after Iqra had her motion put forward. It's disgusting. They're piling on now. It's ridiculous. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is show you the letter or rant that I wrote, and I'm going to read it out loud just to make things easy for you. All right, because a lot of people have forgotten how to read. I don't like to read nowadays. All right, now I can't move me around too easy there. Okay. Canada already has a blasphemy law, or where are the effing lawyers? Would someone please explain to me why motion M-103, commonly known as the blasphemy motion and passed by Parliament for further study, should not be immediately quashed and thrown out for being a completely redundant waste of time? Section 296 of the Canadian Criminal Code, titled Blasphemous Libel, has been on the books forever, providing the police with a lawful way to control agitators of the religious if the police deem it necessary. It's an old statute that most Western nations wisely never had or have done away with, and those countries like Canada who haven't don't put it into practice anymore anyway. Iqra Khalid, I misspelled her name there. Oh, okay, whatever. I'll fix that later. Iqra Khalid, the Erin Mills MP who proposed wasting Canada's political resources on study of the slanderous term posturing as a psychiatric diagnosis, otherwise known as Islamophobia, appears to have neglected her homework. Same goes for our Parliament, who blithely waved her motion through. These issues were dealt with over 100 years ago, and the law was eventually abandoned in practice or stripped from the books altogether, because it's undemocratic to limit people's free speech. That's why. If accountability still had meaning in this world, Khalid would be censured for carelessly tabling such a poorly researched, sloppily worded, oppressive, and undemocratic motion. Did she do any research before presenting this transparent grasp for favoritism to Parliament? Does she not understand the fundamentals of democracy or have respect for Canadian values or feel no patriotic duty to uphold them as a member of Parliament? Excuse me, the sweat. Or is she all about her faith? Islamophobia is just the latest buzzword. It has no real meaning or value. only a vapid trendy would think that, excuse me, only, where did I lost my spot there? Hang on. Only a vapid trendy would think the study of a made-up smear is a productive use of their time. The closest approximation to the charge of being Islamophobic would be prejudiced. Not racist, because Islam, like Christianity or Judaism or any religion, are all unproven ideologies. I'm a Christian, but it's an unproven ideology. I recognize that. I realize that. I accept it. I live with it. Not a race or even a nationality. So, to decipher M-103, Khalid wants Canada to study prejudice against Islam with the stated goal of quelling, again a violent word, the free speech of those Canadians who might harbor prejudices against religions, whether justified or not. Now, I don't know why I should have to explain this to people, because it should be plain as the nose in your face, but some people don't think, okay? They don't think ahead. They just imagine the here and now. They don't think possible scenarios. So with regards to this, Canadians who might harbor prejudices against religions, or whether justified or not, this is my writing, what I'm getting at there is that somebody, you don't know people's lives and their personal real-world experiences where they might have reason, valid, good reason, to hold prejudices, not prejudices against certain individuals or groups. Okay, like maybe their family was killed, wiped out, murdered by a specific group. You think they're supposed to be automatically favorable to that group, that they're not allowed to tell you what happened to their family by this group? If that's what you think, then you are more dangerous than they will ever be. To democracy you are. Anyway, so that's not how Canada works, lady, to quell people's free speech. That's not how Canada works, lady. That's not how any functioning democracy works. I realize MP Khalid was born in Pakistan, but as an elected MP, was she not provided at least a rudimentary briefing on what makes a free nation tick? Free speech, freedom to assemble, and a free press. How hard is that to remember? If I don't like you or what you stand for, I get to say so if I want to, in public, out loud, as long as I'm reasoned and not physically aggressive. And hey, you get to call me Islamophobic or whatever you want, right back, and guess what? Nothing. I simply don't care and get on with my day. Whining for a special law to rob you of your rights so that I won't have to hear your views would never even enter my head, much less be turned into a weapon to backstab my fellow Canadians with. There's an excellent and fundamental reason why critical speech must be allowed, because without the right to offend those in power over us, i.e. government, that includes you now, Iqra, those in government would have us exactly where they want us, like muzzled sheep all bound up, ready for fleecing. Our individual rights and freedoms would be quietly chiseled away, leaving us little better than mute slaves to a corrupt elite. Don't think it can't happen here. It's already happening. M-103 is just one example. Calmly citing unfavorable facts and speaking the truth about Islam or any cult or religion would qualify as reasonable free speech, I would hope. Canada better hope. The object of our ire can sue us or call a cop if we're stalking or constantly harassing them, but otherwise, in this country, it's sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Maybe MP Khalid should write that down. Thank you for tuning in, folks. Please fight this M-103. It is the beginning. It's the thin end of the wedge for Sharia law in Canada. If you don't know about what Sharia law is, please look it up. It's spelled S-H-A-R-I-A. Please look it up, read about it, and it's like 20 rules or something like that. It's awful. Okay, this does not belong in Canada. It has no business being here in Canada. People have no business even entertaining this motion that is M-103, that is designed to take away our right to criticize anyone, really. That's our right. And as Canadians, we have to stand up for our rights, so they're going to be taken away from us. They're already trying here with M-103. Anyway, I've ranted long enough. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.